Tilit comes from the word utility. So basically one of the things that we incorporated in our design and in our brand from the very beginning was the idea that everything would be super functional and the utility would be a key component in everything that we made.
So we tried when we were starting the company to make sure that we were putting utility into everything. So Tilit stems from utility. So and again, that goes to like how are we designing the shirts? How are people feeling when they're wearing the aprons and the pants, and just making sure that they look good but also really have utilitarian purposes that feel good.
I was a career chef for almost 20 years and had moved into private chefing and found myself on the street a lot. I was in a private home and I was still wearing the uniforms that I had worn in restaurants for the 18 years prior. And just didn't feel comfortable. I felt like it was very outdated. And so when we did our research to see what else was out there, just personally for me to buy, there was nothing available. So my wife, my partner Jenny, and I made the idea to kind of go for it. And we created a few samples, a few prototypes, had some of our colleagues and friends test them out. And then we basically launched the brand with a few small pieces, and the rest is kind of history. I think it's something that we try and incorporate in our story because it really is, it's the truth. And having years of experience and years of kind of understanding how your workday goes, that you are working 14 hours a day and that I'm sorry, but I don't have time to go home and wash my laundry now for tomorrow. So it has to be really clean. It has to be willing to not get super dirty. Chances are I have to get two wears out of them before I do wash them. So I think that is a big part of it. I think it's the more time that I've spent now out of the kitchen and in here, we're doing everything we can to continue using people that are currently working as our sounding boards for new designs and for new tweaks to our fabrics and ways to make improvements on our line. So because now I'm not 100% in the kitchen anymore, it's nice to be able to use the chefs and people that are wearing it to kind of give us that feedback moving forward.
So what we find with our women clients is that they don't really want anything to look differently than, say, their male counterparts. They just want it to fit better. So we came up with like an apron design that, you really wouldn't realize that it was a women's apron, but we moved the straps up, we made it wrap around so it has like a nice shape. Our chef coats are indistinguishable, but we actually have, a separate pattern where it's really cut for women. It's more tailored so that, we try to support our women clients and make sure that they look and feel just as professional as their male counterparts. So this is our women's wrap apron. One of the things that we did is made it wider at the body, and then it wraps around like a wrap dress would. So the strap comes through here, and the waist is moved up to the natural waist instead of lower at the hip, so that it gives a woman her natural body type and shape. And we also put darts for the bust so that it lays flat across the chest. So oftentimes you'll see women in aprons, and at the chest it puckers out because there's no darting to allow for our different shape. So these are our best-selling flex pants. One of the things that makes them so special is that they are a blend of cotton and spandex, and we've worked really hard to find the exact right percentage. So they're stretchy, but not too stretchy. So they move really well in the kitchen. So we put some extra special details on here. So there's a front utility pocket here for extra storage space. On the side, we have a key ring. So as you know, many chefs and people in the industry are walking around with their cooler keys, their walk-in keys, their keys to the restaurant, and you need them handy at all times. We wanted them to look super clean and professional still, so they have the back welted pockets. We put a nice little X detail here to keep your belt in place, and another extra pocket back here. And then one of my favorite things about the pants is that, and all of our pants in general, is that we double reinforce all of the knees. So if you're bending down a lot, if you're having to do squats, if you're grabbing stuff out of the oven, you're not gonna blow out your knees. That we can look at is our best-selling contra apron. So this apron is a washable wax cotton. So it actually repels water, repels fluids. If you spill on it, it easily wipes right down, but given that we're working with food and beverages, a lot of the times you want to make sure it's washable. So traditional wax cottons can't go into the machine. They have to be recoated, whereas this one can. One of the other details about this one is we put a leather detail. So people we're asking a lot for leather, but it's really uncomfortable around the entire neck. So this has the cotton webbing at the back, but you still get the pop of leather, and it snaps off for washing so you don't ruin the leather. And this one we also put welted pockets. So it's a very clean look for somebody who wants just like a very clean presentation. So this is our best-selling chef shirt. It's a banded collar, so it's very on trend right now. It's not a full collar, but it's meant to sort of mimic the collar that was on a chef coat. So we have a single placket here. All of our buttons now are coated metal, so they're relatively indestructible, unless, I don't know, you drop tons and tons of vegetables on it or something. We put some thoughtful details into the pocket, so there's a hidden pocket back here. So your pen or your Sharpie, the chefs always have Sharpies on them, is tucked away nicely and won't come out, but you still have full access to the whole front of the pocket. On all of our chef coats and work shirts, we put venting under the arms to help keep you cool when you're working those 12-hour days. And then on the back, we were the first US company to put a strap on the back of the neck to hold your apron in place. So you can just snap it down and it prevents it from riding up on the neck and being uncomfortable. This is our worker jacket. It's based off of like the traditional French chore coat. It's made out of a cotton poly twill, so it's super durable, but it's still mostly cotton, so it's still like breathable and lightweight and feels really good on. We put some really thoughtful details in this one as well. So again, here's your pen pockets. This is actually made out of our waxed cotton, the same one that we use in our aprons. And then on the elbows, we reinforced them again with the same waxed cotton. We use our heavy-duty Tilit branded snaps here to make sure that it's not going anywhere, and we also have a hidden pin pocket here. And then if you're a bartender or something and you're wearing this at work, there is the apron tab on the back of this neck too, so you can keep it all protected and clean while you're prepping and then work it out during your shift in just this coat. We think about every detail of how to make a garment feel really good to somebody who's working a 12-hour shift but still look really good. I think that restaurant design has changed tremendously in the past 10 years. You know, chefs used to be hidden in the back. You didn't really see an open kitchen. Now it's like you go anywhere and there's an open kitchen, from a fine dining establishment to fast casual. And the diner is really savvy these days, especially again with social media, and they really take in the whole experience. So I think from a diner perspective, you notice if, hey, they spent millions of dollars on this build out, but who's my server, who's like working here. I think, you know, when you have something cohesive that looks like it's meant to be in that space, the diner really notices and feels it.
That is the most thrilling thing at this point to see. It's basically like when you put a dish on a table and someone really loves it, to be able to go out and see someone on the street. I've seen a couple times people on the subway that were wearing stuff going to work, so basically doing exactly what we intended it for, to be able to transfer from stove to street is really exciting and really rewarding.